Good afternoon everyone, this is Connor from Zenfinex, and today I'm going to be covering a market that does not seem to get much attention on the retail trading front, but is actually really important in the economy and is something that people should be paying attention to. That is the copper market, which has been on a remarkable run over the last 12 months, up over 100% since April last year. Now I'm going to talk through why copper is important in the economy, and then I'm going to give my prediction of where I think copper could be heading for the rest of 2021. Okay, so why is copper really important for the economy? Well, first of all, it's really versatile in nature, and what I mean by this is it has a wide range of applications. And the most common are its importance to the electrical power industry, as well as the production of industrial machinery as well. And this is because it's a really good, efficient conductor of electricity and heat. Now, copper is also used in many other things like construction projects, transportation vehicles, and even in cookware as well. Demand for copper is often seen as a leading economic indicator. Now, what I mean by this is it can be a gauge for a stronger economic outlook. So if demand for copper, for example, was increasing, then it can be a sign that production is ramping up and there's a brighter prospect in the economy, and vice versa as well. Now, I've often heard it be called Dr. Copper as well, but the reason for this is because there's actually a correlation found between copper prices and world trade / global GDP. In other words, when copper prices are increasing, so is global GDP, or there is a correlation there at least. Now, the situation right now with copper is trading at around $4.4, and amazingly it formed actually all-time highs in May, and it has since dipped off slightly. And I think it can be safely said that this has been a real indicator of the turnaround in events that we've had so far this year. It's kind of being priced in at the moment that the global economy will recover quicker than any other fallout from the pandemic. With so little trade last year as well due to the pandemic, manufacturers have really been ramping up production to keep up with this rise in demand, which is probably why we saw prices kind of escalate so much. But anyway, now we know why copper is so useful. We know the situation with copper at the moment. Let's see where copper could go for the rest of this year. Okay, so I'm on the chart now for copper, and I've just zoomed right out on the weekly chart first of all. I'll zoom out even further just so you can see this all-time high that was created back in May, I think it was. Yeah, back in May. And you can see that we actually also, it wasn't just a wick into an all-time high. We actually closed on the weekly chart above the recent all-time, or the other all-time high back in October of 2010, which is quite remarkable really. You can see this run that we've been on. You can see now we are dipping slightly, as I said before. Now, where can copper go for the rest of 2021? Do I see this level here at 4.8 back in May? Do I see that being the high of the year? I don't. I actually think that potentially we could go and test these highs once more. So I'm just going to put in straight away potential take profit level if we were to buy the market. Where could this market fall to? Because at the moment, although I don't want to potentially sell copper, I actually think that we are going to potentially fall a bit further, a bit more of a correction on the RSI as well. I think we can maybe go back towards more fair value before we take a run up to our take profit level. Now, where can I see copper falling to potentially? Well, we do have this weekly order block here, and it would actually be a test potentially of the 50-day moving average if we did get there, or we could actually wait for a test of. Hi guys, thank you for listening to this video. Just really quickly wanted to touch on a really exciting offer we have on the website. It's a limited time offer, and if you head over to zenfinex.co.uk, you will see the offer in front of you straight away. And this is that you can trade Forex on a standard account with raw spread plus zero commission. And now Zenfinex is also an FCA and no dealing desk execution broker. If you are interested in this offer, you can get in touch with the team by clicking learn more, or you can simply go to open an account where you can start the application process. The 50 moving average, you can see that back in November 2020 we had this cross up and above the 200 and the 100 moving average as well. But potentially this weekly order block here is something that I would be really interested in. Now, the higher the time frame you go, the more powerful the order block is. You can see that this was the level which sprung up and actually managed to break all-time highs, and there was actually probably lots of volume going on there to actually be able to break these highs. There must have been lots of volume. So I'm looking at this area for potential buying opportunity. It's down at around $4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark on a potential buy. So you could set a buy limit at this level is something that I would look to do. Around a 3.7R trade. It's a bit of a swing trade here, so maybe on my trading strategy, for example, I use 1% per trade. On something like this, I'd maybe use more like 2% per trade for around a 6-7% gain, which would be really nice as well. Onto the daily chart now. And you can see this order block that I marked on the daily chart, on the weekly chart, can actually be refined maybe further down into something like this. Now, you can see where we are at the moment in copper is actually really interesting. We're actually on the 50-day moving average, and as you can see, the last 3 times that we've tested this moving average in November, we tested it again in January, we tested it again in April, and as you can see, each time just seemed to act as a really nice support level for copper. Now, I'm interested to see if we can actually bounce from this 50-day moving average and look towards take profit levels again, which were the all-time highs, as we know. Now, what I would be looking for is if we were to close below the 50-day moving average, I'm anticipating maybe a couple of months of either consolidation period or more of actually a fall in copper down to potentially our daily order block or to potentially the 100-day moving average, which hasn't really come into play since October of last year. So I do think this is a market which is overextended. It's been on a remarkable run, and I do feel like a pullback is necessary. But I think if I would be a buyer from around $4, that would be a nice discount level for me. If we do close below $4, I think we're going to go and head towards something like 3.5, this level here, or even maybe up at the 200-day moving average at around 3.7, something like that. But for me, I'll be a buyer at around $4, looking to hit our all-time highs back at $4.8. But just on a quick note, it is interesting that we are creating these lower highs on copper at the moment, which could be a sign that the market does want to dip a bit further. So you could look for a counter trend play. If we were to get a close below this low here, then what we could have is a selling opportunity counter trend selling opportunity down into our first order block level, which would be around a 6R trade, and then from that level we look to buy the market, aiming for probably first of all this order block that would be an order block if we did break structure, hypothetically, but then aiming again for just a test of those highs. Whether we get a close above is not really our problem. If we do, then we know that we're on another wave of upside. So that is it for copper today, guys. I hope everyone has enjoyed this video. It's not a commodity that a lot of people trade, but it's something that really people should look out for. It's a really, really important and versatile commodity. I'll be here for the next video, which will be next week. So please drop your comments in the comment section of where you think copper's going in 2021. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers for listening.